This past March, Marie and I flew to Guadalajara, Mexico to fulfill a long-time wish, which is to see the beautiful monarch butterfly. As we entered our B&B, we saw La Catrina, Mexico's Grand Dam of Death. During the Mexican Revolution, La Catrina symbolized the Mexican who scorned the culture and tried to pass themselves off as Europeans. In modern era, it symbolizes El Dia de los Muertos and Mexican willingness to laugh at death itself, and that death brings a neutralizing force that the rich and the poor are equal at the end. The following morning, we drove to the city of Tequila, where the internationally famous tequila is produced from the blue agave plant. This bronze work illustrates the importance of the blue agave plant to the city of Tequila. The blue agave plant is propagated by offshoots of the mother plant. In this way, the tequila produced today comes from descendants of the original agave grown in Tequila in 1879. The agave plant is ready for harvesting after 7 to 10 years of growth. The green outer leaves are sliced off, leaving the large agave called piña because it resembles a pineapple. The piña is cut in half and sliced to easily extract the juice. The agave is carefully stacked in large ovens made of bricks and stone. Some hold 45 tons of agave. The oven is sealed and steamed for up to 26 hours. The next step is the crushing process. The agave is placed in a large conveyor belt. You can see the juice that has been extracted. The pulp fiber left behind is not wasted. It is used to make rope, paper, compost, animal feed, and burned as fuel. The mosto is poured into giant open tanks over 2 stories high that hold 16 to 50 gallons of mosto for fermentation, where it remains for 4 to 7 days. It is then poured into large metal tanks for distillation until the alcohol reaches a level of 70 to 100 proof. Once it reaches the desired level of alcohol, it is transferred into wooden barrels from Kentucky for from 45 days up to 5 years. Some tequila is lost in the process and is called the angel's share. The longer in the barrel, the happier the angels. Here we see the bottled tequila. Before this tequila could be bottled, it was tested and approved by 4 official female government tasters who enjoy that responsibility. Here are your 4 happy tasters. We drove to the large open market and watched the artists create the universe using only spray cans and newspaper. The following morning, we took a 5-hour taxi ride to the city of Morelia. We photographed the majestic Morelia Cathedral that was built by the Spaniards in 1660 and completed in 1744. It is the seat of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese. The interior of the cathedral is of incredible beauty. That Saturday night, we watched the traditional spectacle that included fireworks and music. We rose early the next day and drove to Cicatrado, rode horses for 45 minutes up a mountainside, hiked another half hour, and finally reached El Rosario, the resting place of the magical monarch butterfly. By instinct alone, the butterfly flies to the same mountains that their great-great-grandparents did the previous year. They travel in colonies of 20 million and travel between 80 to 120 nautical miles each day by day only, and rest at night, usually on trees and branches. They arrive in Michoacan around November and settle in the Ovamel fir tree at about 10,000 feet above sea level, where it is cool and moist. It is said that they cling so closely together that they resemble large bunches of grapes. This close-up shows the beauty of the monarch. Here a friend is saying goodbye to Marie. We went on to local villages and spent several days visiting artisans. We came across one of Mexico's most renowned producer of silver and copper artworks. Here we see artists preparing unique pieces that will be featured in a national competition. These are unique because they are created out of only one piece of silver or copper. A large piece of copper was shaped into this round disc and fired red hot. 7 workers hammered this disc a total of 560 times to develop this textured platter. This pure silk replica of a Coke bottle is priced at $5,000 US. This warning sign is of the deadly scorpion found in the region. This artist is demonstrating how she creates these large clay pots. The size of the wooden ring on the table indicates the width that the pot will be. She begins the first phase by developing the base on the pot. Here she is rolling out the clay and placing it around the container. She shapes the clay and then adds another ring. At this stage, she is smoothing the piece using a corn cob as her tool. She adds another ring and continues the process until this phase is completed. She then sets it in the shade so that the inside and outside are both completely dry. From there, it is placed in a large wood-fired kiln, knowing that it will not explode. This piece is upside down. Marie and I were fortunate to have Chip Morris as our personal guide for the rest of our stay. He is a cultural anthropologist and leading authority of the textiles of the Mayan peoples. He has lived in Mexico for 40 years and speaks the Mayan local language. He is so respected by the Mayans that we are permitted to photograph sacred ceremonies in villages that is not permitted to the regular tourists. Chip took us to witness the sacred jaguar ceremony and the fire run in the village of Chamula that is held each year during the Lent period. These are members of the Order of the Sacred Jaguar performing the jaguar ceremony. Chip was captured and fitted with a jaguar skin. He is paraded in a circle 3 times, lifted, shaken, and then carried to the Grand Jaguar for acceptance into the order. This member of the order wanted to go through the ceremony again, but because of the sugar-fermented drink called posh, he could not make it. While the ceremony was taking place, the villagers were laying straw for the Jaguar 40-yard fire run. The straw is set on fire. Once the Grand Jaguar believes that the ceremony should begin, he commands his musicians to blow the charge for the run through the flames. This ceremony continues until the flames are out. We gave our thanks and drove to photograph the most colorful of all the Mayan villagers, the Sinacantans. Sinacantan is known worldwide for the beautiful flowers that it exports. They are so proud of their flowers that ladies design the fabrics that they will create with a colorful flower theme. Each design is unique to that person who created it. Here Marie made several of her purchases of the beautiful textiles. The owner then invited us to have lunch with her family. We were given permission to photograph a couple that were just married. We could not take pictures in the church, but waited for them to pose outside of the church door. We were then invited by local officials to photograph a procession in San Andreas celebrating the 5th Friday of Lent. One can identify from which village a group is by the design and style of their clothing. Here we have Marie swaying to the rhythm of the music. These ladies are carrying incense burners to the church. We went on to photograph ladies carrying beautiful flowers with which they will decorate their church, led by the church musicians. We ended our stay in Mexico by photographing the religious ceremony of this beautiful decorated church.